Well, hi everyone. I'm John Rethlin with my review of AEW Dynamite. And yes, it's up a few hours later because I had to cover this week. Normally I'm off on Wednesdays, so I do apologize for that. Thank you guys very much for tuning in and for the increased amount of views you guys have given the channel over in the last few months, but especially the last year. But like this year alone, about 50,000 views on the channel for just a little fan-made channel. I mean, thank you guys. It really means a lot. So, how was the show? Mixed bag. It was bookended by two pretty good tournament matches. One complaint that I do have before I dive into, the other complaints that I have about this show, because you probably know what they are. No women's matches, which was a little bit disappointing. Now I know they're running a skeleton crew there, and they only have a certain amount of women they can use, but they really could have done some good by having a women's match there. Just something. Use a couple of the enhancement talents. I don't know. Just use something. Have Sheeta face a jobber. It just seems like they could have done more with that. But that being said, they did involve a couple women in the main event. Oh boy, I'll get to that. So Cody is among a bunch of computers. It was like he's in his own personal bat cave or something, and he was talking about his opponents, the opponents left in the TNT Championship tournament, his future. Would he be a perennial mid-carder? Would he rise up and realize his potential? Talking about the history of wrestling on TNT. And he talks complacency, how that's a dirty word. No, if you replace the O with a U, that would be a dirty word, Cody. But this was fun. It was weird. The neck tat, I can't get over the neck tattoo. I mean, and again, it is what it is. I mean, it's going to cost a lot if he wants to get it removed, but boy, credit to him for doing that. That's ballsy. I certainly wouldn't. So, Jericho and Shivani on commentary. Jericho already saving the goddamn show. And Shivani cracking up. This was great. I'm going to go over a few lines that they did, but we have Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin, respective packages on these two men. Yes, and I worded that intentionally just to see if people might take it a little bit dirty, which is rare for me because I do run a clean show. No one believes that. It's Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin, and it starts off, it's a TNT quarterfinal match, qualifying match, what I almost said, referee Aubrey, who did dominate the show, so that was great. The best referee going today, at least in, I don't even say mainstream, but big professional wrestling, because there's some really cool female referees that are on the indies that I've gone to, and I hope that they can continue to succeed, as they're very awesome. But Aubrey, met her multiple times. She's really good, and she just has that great game face, that great ref face. So how was it? Sammy dives early. The bell doesn't even ring for a bit. He gets a ladder out, puts a ladder between the barricade and the ring, and does a splash on Darby. And it looked like he hurt his elbow. It looked like that thing really hurt, because that ladder didn't give it all. That was a legit ladder. That looked like it really hurt. It was a small ladder. It was compact, but my God, that looked like it hurt. Jericho then said he taught Sammy how to grind down on another man, because that's what the Spanish God does. And Darby's nose gets busted at one point during this match. He also gets Sammy upside down and takes off his boot and is working on his ankle. And it was really good stuff, because they did a lot of different things. It's kind of reminded me of a bit of a condensed version of their match at Revolution. But it was just good that he started off with some action before the bell, and then they had some good action there. He did do a nice ankle trap as well. Darby crashes into the barricade as we come back, and he says, what Jericho say? You know what suicida stands for in Spanish? And Shivani says, no, I don't either. But and it just, Shivani starts cracking up. He mentions Pineapple Pete, I believe he's Shug D in the pineapple shirt. Is just really fun. God damn it, Jericho! I've been critical of a lot of Jericho stuff, and there are some things I don't like. I'll get to one thing a little bit later, but he really is diving into this and doing great on commentary, and they're doing a great job entertaining people. And you can tell that Shivani's just having the goddamn time of his life, and he's enjoying himself. And Jericho's just entertaining the fuck out of him, because they go back all the way to the WCW days, and it's just really, really nice to hear commentary where a wrestler can actually do commentary, and he can snidely comment on people, but he can also put them over and get some storylines over. I mean, Jericho's got to do this by next year or even 2022, whenever he decides to hang up his boots, because Jericho's going to be great on commentary. If he's anything like this, he's going to be great. Like, if he doesn't even dial it down, if he just keeps this going, he's going to be great. So, yeah, eventually, the Last Supper, it's weird pin for 1, 2, 3, and that's what it was. It was Darby Allin getting the victory, so fine, it was good. Sammy lost, and yeah, his ankle really worked on that. That looked like really painful. So hopefully he's all right. Hopefully he's just selling. So Darby faces Cody in the semifinals. A Matt Hardy compound thing, and he's challenging Jericho, calling him the hole of the ass. And I like Matt Hardy as, somebody that has embraced this broken gimmick and he is dedicated to it. It's the elite deletion, challenging him. I don't care. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't care. Good on him. But you know what? This gimmick is old to me. It had a shelf life and it's way past that right now. But then, boom, he changes to normal and talks about kicking his ass and talks about wanting to eat Sammy. Well, that was before he changed to normal. And that AEW is a platform for the future. The Elite are trying to build this. These guys in charge are trying to build this. And okay, he's going to kick everybody's ass until he gets to Jericho. He's going to kick his ass. This made no sense. But you know what? Matt's dedicated to it. We then get Taz talking about Omega's moves and talking about the V-trigger and doing all this weird stuff. And then we talk about Alan Angles, and Alan Eagles is what Jericho kept calling him, versus Kenny Omega. And he mentioned Deep South Wrestling because Kenny Omega was part of that and then left, become one of the best in the world. Said that I believe Alan looked like a Tijuana taxi driver. He had a weird loincloth thing called like a reverse loincloth. Mentioned like he's gonna need help, like Ingalls, like Laura Ingalls, Little House on the Prairie. Maybe he's gonna get Michael Landon. And Shivani says, well, what about Why Not Bonanza? And fucking hell, they were just having so much fun here. The match wasn't bad. Alan did get in a few shots, but eventually Omega got serious, hit the V-trigger, well, the second V-trigger, 1, 2, 3, and there we go. But it wasn't bad. I mean, Alan actually got in some shots, and the commentary kept it entertaining. And then Scorpio Sky, it's a nice little package talking about how he grew up a fan of wrestling, and he got into wrestling, and he just wasn't catching his big break, and then he suffered a back injury that he thought was career-ending, but then he got back to where he was going to get back in the ring, and he kept wanting to get a shot, and kept getting turned down, and then they leave it off where he joined SCU. Well, he formed SCU with Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels when they were the Addiction in Ring of Honor, and then left it from there. So obviously we're going to get the second part, and this was nice. I like Scorpio Sky. Got to actually meet him at a Defy Northwest wrestling show, indie promotion around here last January. Same with Daniels and Kazarian. Great guys, by the way. And it's a good. Cody then talks to Dustin on the phone. Dustin says if he can't beat Kip, he will retire. And then we get clips of Matt versus Nick in their backyard wrestling. One of the Bucks, I forget which, I think it's Nick, wants to show what he, wants to prove that he still has it. And Double or Nothing is on May 23rd. I want to say very quickly that if the wrestlers are on board with this, I am fine. But if I'm going to knock WWE for running live pay-per-views or live tapings, I got to knock AEW for it. It's like it's a middle of a pandemic, but I'm sure they got pay-per-view contracts and TV contracts to roll with. But this is something that they're going to have to get some criticism for. And honestly, here's why. This is still tough, and you're having people fly from all over. And yes, there's progress being made with this whole pandemic. There are things being made, but there's a lot of stay-at-home orders and a lot of stuff going on. Something just doesn't feel right about it. And if I'm going to knock WWE, I got to knock AEW. I'm interested to see what they can do, just the same as I'm interested to see how WWE is going to do this stuff. Am I uncomfortable about it? Yes. Am I happy to see wrestling? Yes. So we get Jimmy Havoc versus Orange Cassidy, referee Aubrey, and I hated this, and I like Jimmy Havoc. I want to make this clear. I like Jimmy Havoc. I don't care how good Orange Cassidy is in the ring. I don't give a shit. I hate the gimmick. And when I see him wrestling, and I know that he can do some stuff, cool. I didn't see him do anything against Pac where I'm like, wow, I'm really happy that they waited all that time for it. So at one point, Havoc chops Orange Cassidy, and Jericho says, I think his nipple landed on the mat, and chop him again. Penelope's there, and the best friends are there also, and she ends up doing her splits to kind of distract everybody because she gets her leg pulled and then just does the splits because she's just that good. Well, she tries to get Orange Cassidy, but the referee's seen, so she jumps over, and then Havoc's like, what are you doing? And Orange Cassidy beats Jimmy Havoc, so that's it for Jimmy Havoc. You're not going to be able to take him seriously because he lost to a goddamn joke of a character and a joke of a character. And he may be nice. He may be a good athlete. I don't care. I hate the gimmick. You can like it. That's fine. Doesn't mean I have to. So we then get MJF talking about the state of the world, and everybody's all panicked and everything. It's because MJF has not been on AEW TV. And it's because he had his arm in a sling with a towel over his hand, and he got a hangnail from gambling, but he gutted through it for his loyal MJFs, or is it MJFers? MJFs, I think, is what it was. MJFs. It was just really funny hearing what MJF had to say. He was great here. Um, Honestly, if he is actually injured and this is just a way to be comical, okay. If it's just a way for him to troll the audience, fine. But he is also from New York, so he might actually be locked away. So this is just, but which is weird because it was like Massachusetts. I think that they said where he was from, but who knows, or where where he was located at. But anyway, hey, if he's up there and he can't get away for a little bit, okay, I totally understand. It's a good way to get him up, get him up there on TV, and it was fine. If he is injured, I wish him nothing but a speedy recovery. So, Wardlow versus Lee Johnson. And it was a quick catch power slam. It was Lee doing a few moves, a few flippy moves, but a couple release suplexes, where he just tossed him. And then the F10 or whatever the hell it is, and Wardlow wins. Wardlow's impressive. Wardlow also has way, way horrible theme music. That's terrible theme music. We then get Preston Vance, who I don't know. I don't know who Preston Vance is. Apparently, he was a Heisman Trophy hopeful, got injured, had to break up with his girlfriend, and then decides to join the Dark Order because apparently they won't let this fucking bullshit gimmick die. This gimmick is atrocious. And I'm sure they got their fans. You're a fan of the Dark Order? Fine. I would rather have my balls stepped on than give this goddamn thing a chance because they had chance after chance after chance to make this thing work. Oh, and Brody Lee talking about the guy's height, 6'2", 240, that people in AEW didn't get their chance, but that Evil Uno spoke highly of him, so he's going to give him a chance, and he's going to be creeper number 10 or whatever. Brody Lee already just feels like another guy, and I don't care. I don't care. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope that he can make this work, but they've already made him feel like his appearance meant nothing or his debut meant nothing. He's supposed to be a smarter heel, okay, or a smarter monster, cool, whatever. I don't even care. I don't even think this was a shot at Vince. And if it was a subtle shot. I'm done with the gimmick. I'm done with it. Get rid of the Dark Order gimmick and just fucking have Brody Lee be a destroyer. But no, we can't do that. That would make too much fucking sense. So, we get Justin Law versus Brody Lee. Brody Lee beats him with a discus clothesline. Brody Lee kept staring at Stunt because we are going to get Stunt versus Lee next week. God damn it, can you stop having Marco Stunt in a fucking ring? I don't care how nice he is. It's embarrassing watching this little shit in the ring. And now you already saddled Brody Lee with the Dark Order gimmick that's absolute shit. And now you're going to put him in with Marco Stunt. Which, whatever. The only good thing that they've done with Marco Stunt is have Archer completely destroy him. Oh, by the way, and Trent and Chuck, I think, want a shot at Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian. Because of all the shit that went on with Orange Cassidy. Because, we're supposed to feel sorry for Orange Cassidy because Jimmy Havoc had to carry him. I actually didn't mind this episode, but there were some things I didn't like. The Bubbly Bunch, episode 2. Hagar should not talk with so many words that have S's in them. And they did TikTok shit, or Flim Flam, I believe is what it was called. So it's mocking TikTok, despite the fact they were doing TikTok. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. You like TikTok? Fine. I didn't like it. Moxley is going to appear next week. And we get video packages on Kip and Dustin. This match was... God, what was it? Jericho at one point called Austin and Billy the Gun Dummies, and I don't know why that made me laugh, but it's Dustin versus Kip. If Kip beat Dustin, Dustin will retire. And Aubrey was the referee, and Dustin still showing that he could go, but Kip with some really good heel work. And then Penelope tries to distract, but no, Brandy has to gain the advantage and hit a spear that was not very good. It wasn't. Brandy's going to get on this show one way or another, and I'm over it. I'm over it as far as her as a character. Person, no. Nothing against her as a person, but just as a character. And Dustin won after the Destroyer. Cool, so his career lives on, and Archer's going to absolutely destroy him. I'm not going to grade this show because I'm done grading these. I mean, I'll grade movies and stuff like that. When we get back to having crowds, small crowds or otherwise, I'll start grading these things because I'm just happy to have some wrestling. But this show was decent overall because it was bookended by 2 good tournament matches, and there were a couple other good things, and the commentary really did save it. But the Dark Order shit and just some other stuff was just fucking rotten. So anyway, agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.